On top of Old Smoky, all covered in grass, there sat a bald eagle, scratching his don't be mistaken, don't be misled. That bald-headed eagle was scratching his head. Mashed potato on my breakfast and gravy as well. Yeah. I am looking forward to this wine. I've earned it. I'll tell him why I've earned it later. I'll tell him. It's been a busy night at work. I'll tell him the whole thing. I'll hold nothing back. You wait and see. You wait and see. Right. Here we go then. Oh, hope they're in a good mood tonight. They're kind to me. Good evening, darlings, and a very warm, wibbly wobbly, willy waving welcome to you all to this Thursday Night Live. My God, we're there already. We're waving goodbye to Thursday and we're welcoming in Friday, Poets' Day. Piss off early. Tomorrow's Saturday. The weekend is almost upon us, and you know, it's only 5 minutes ago we were welcoming the start of the week. Gosh, how time flies when you're in the very best of company, darlings. So, what have we got to look forward to over the next hour, which I'm really looking forward to? I'm on the verge of clutching my little tinkle with the excitement of it all. Yes, indeed, my level of joy is verging on the orgasmic at just the sheer delight of being amongst you wonderful top of the range inner scrotum. My God, you're fabulous. And I'd love to track each and every one of you down and tickle you and squeeze you until you wet yourselves. Oh, I really would. And you don't get that on Hubnut. Right, so what have we got to look forward to over the next hour? All of the normal stuff. We can talk about anything you damn well please. Sean's boxing is on hand to receive a damned good pounding. The Hedgehog of Truth is on hand, should you have a Hedgehog of Truth question. The community portable electric telephone is here, should you wish to leave a voice note. But above all, what I'm going to do, once I've had a slurp of my wine, we had a busy night at the restaurant tonight. I told you it was going to be busy, and it really was. But it was great fun. It was a super night. We had parties celebrating some of my favourite customers, and it was just a really good night. Everything went as it should. Everybody had a good time. We had more than enough staff. It was just lovely. The only disappointment was there was no staff curry tonight, but hey ho, I have still got a day's worth of stock left in the curry freezer. So it's all good, my lovelies. It's all good. So, yeah, after a slurp of wine, I am going to leap headfirst into your comments, which are, allow me to remind you, the meat and vegetables of this beans on toast of a community live stream. So, on that note, cheers, your very good health, bottoms up yours, and above all, and I mean this with kindness and sincerity, get stuffed. Oh, 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 that's very nice. That's very nice. I might need a moment. Oh, oh, and while I think about it, let me also say to those of you who are watching this not live but the next day, good morning, stroke afternoon. I hope you slept well and I wish you a pleasant day ahead. There you see. Fucking how professional am I? How professional am I? That's really good, that was. I should keep that. Sometimes, darlings, sometimes I just impress myself. Do you know what I mean? Do you know what I mean? Sometimes I come out with something and I think, God, that was like a real broadcaster would have done it. Not often, about once a year that happens, but when it happens, it's joyful. Now, this is not the kind of hairbrush which would make a good spanking implement, is it? No, it's kind of narrow and domed. I would imagine that for a good spanking hairbrush, you'd want one of those that was shaped more like a well, I don't know, like a guitar, but without the indentations where the lady guitar player's breasts sit, and you'd want it to be flat for a good. Not that I have a huge amount of experience in these things, you understand, but I would like to be a judge if it ever became a competitive sport. And I'll be honest, darlings, I would be in favour of spanking becoming a competitive sport. Because it would kind of be a team game, wouldn't it? Because you need the spanker and the spankee. So that would be inclusive. And that'd be great. Husband and wives could compete together, they could team up. There would be no age limit. You wouldn't have to be physically fit. You wouldn't need to take drugs necessarily. It would even be good for the visually impaired people, wouldn't it? Because you could, well, I say, yeah, it would be perfectly possible for the visually impaired. Well, we haven't even got into the comments and we've got a phone call. Good evening, Mystery Stephen.
Good evening. This Mr. Spanker on the line, is it?
It certainly is. How you doing, mate?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you. I've been thinking, do you know when you're on about you're doing your B&B thing?
Yeah.
Are you going to do a day seeing how someone else runs the business?
No.
Like you see people do. They go in and have a look, see how they run it.
No. Why would I do that? I'll be better than them.
Because you don't need to tell people how you do. You just have a look for ideas.
No, I don't want to do that. Then I'd be doing it like them. And then I wouldn't be better than them.
Hey, sounds good news though, doesn't it?
Oh yeah, we'll get there. We'll get there at some point. At the end of the day, it's a three-pronged thing, isn't it? I mean, I want the business to create money for my partners. I want to create money for myself so that I can survive, and I want to get good content for the YouTube channel.
Once it's going, you want to make sure you get a percentage of the business.
Yeah, well, I'm going to be running it, isn't it?
Yeah, but you want to get a 5% share, when it's up and running.
5%?
Or 10%. Don't say anything at the moment because you wait till it gets up and running and then ask them that.
5%? It's not that.
You get
I want 33% out of one and 50% out of the other.
Yeah, because then you can organise your own staff then.
Yeah, well...
Because if you mention to them now, they'll want money off you.
Why would they want money off me?
I don't know. I mean, because like you'll be there. I don't know. It's just the idea, sir.
No. Okay, you've lost me a little bit. I mean, we haven't arranged the financial aspect yet, but I mean, there's 3 partners in one, 2 partners in the other. So depending on the level of income, then I would expect either a third share or a half share, or a salary package equating somewhere around there.
You definitely want a decent salary though.
Because what you got to bear in mind is that I'm on my own doing this. I've got no help, nothing. It's literally just me. So, I want my fair share of the.
Yeah, because if you notice, if you watch the things where the people buy the apartments, not all the time people put the money down. They had backers, and I always notice they make money as well.
Yeah, well, that's the idea, isn't it?
And that's what you want to do.
Yeah, exactly. But I ain't doing it for 5%.
And you get a decent percent anyway.
Yeah, we'll sort it all out. We'll sort it all out when we get going.
Be good when it's up and running anyway.
Hopefully. I mean, it could all.
Which one have you decided you're going to have a basin?
Oh, that's a good question. Ideally, it would be the Sherpa's Lodge, but if I end up doing that as a whole property let, then that's not going to work. So I'd have to be based at Clay Cross. I know Bishnu wants me to have my office at Clay Cross because then I'm on hand for him, and I'd end up running that bloody restaurant as well. But
don't you think you'll swap restaurants then instead?
No.
And work in the other restaurants when you get up when you watch name, but you still go to Sherpa's Lodge?
No, I don't think so because I haven't got the relationship with the people at Clay Cross anymore. There's only, apart from Bish and Niru and so on, there's only one guy there from my time there, Chandra, the tandoor chef. The others, I don't know them. I've not worked with them. And you got to remember that Clay Cross is the favoured child, so they don't need any more than they've got at the moment. Really, there's not much that I can add. Whereas at Ripley, I can, they need me there, and they're my family, and so yeah, no, the plan is to stay put at Ripley. Probably spend. It'll probably end up that I spend days at Clay Cross and evenings at Ripley, something like that.
That's good. What's your idea to get the Rover convertible fixed? What are you going to do it in the yard, are you, one day?
Nah, it'll have to go to the garage down the road, I suppose, when I've got some money.
It's just a shame you're in the worst car for that. As I said the other day, the worst car for a squeaking noise in the conveyors, but you can hear every single sound.
Yeah, well, that's true. And yeah, I don't fancy slamming it all the way to the yard with that going on.
What's your idea on your road trip next time? What vehicle are you hoping to go in next time when you've got your birthday treat?
All future road trips will be in Officer Crabtree, unless they're like really special occasions or it's a really nice day and I want to go in particularly want to go in a convertible. But I did this in a video the other night.
Yeah, you've been off going in your most reliable car, the newest car you've got.
Yeah, and the one that I've not got a limited mileage on.
Yeah. Anyway, sir, I'll let you carry on because you don't have long today, sir.
Yeah, plow into the comments. Nice to hear from you.
No problem, sir. Have a good evening.
You
and
too.
I look forward to sit back and relax and watch the comments.
Take care, buddy.
All right, go, mate. Go.
That's quite an interesting idea. That if you thought I was kidding, that shows you my arrogance. It would never. I haven't got a clue what I'm doing with an Airbnb or a guest house or a hotel. I've been a guest in a hotel. I've stayed once in an Airbnb. Haven't got a clue what I'm doing. It would never have occurred to me in a million years to go and look at how somebody else did it. And that's my arrogance, you see. I just assume that even not knowing what I'm doing, I'm going to do it better than them. How arrogant is that? It's ridiculous. And I wouldn't want. The only reason I would watch how anybody else did it is where I could say, well, you're doing that wrong, and I do that better, and I do that better. But I don't think I need to see them to do that. How difficult can it be at the end of the day? You've got to it's perfectly simple. You're offering people a place to stay, so it just comes down to competition and marketing, doesn't it? So you've either got to have a superior product, or you've got to have the same product at a lower price point, or you've got to have more effective marketing. Well, marketing is what I do. I ooze marketing. It comes out of my pores. I mean, that's what I'm all about. And I'll just have to make sure that the product is good. In other words, that it's nicely finished, nicely dressed, blah blah blah. I will ask you lot for help, as I mentioned last night. I've not got a bad eye. I've not got bad taste, I don't think. You know what my place is like. But anyway, let's get on with the comments, shall we? I mean, it's 1:15 and I haven't got to the first cab off the rank yet. Who is Carol C? Who says it's Thursday and I'm looking forward to hearing from Boaty and all the community. My tree is up and decorated. Oh, good. Well, at the right time too. Well done, young Carol. Waiting for Father Christmas to put some parcels underneath. I hope I'm on the nice list. I'm sure you will be. The like button has been activated and I'm all ready for liftoff. Good stuff. Paulie Galtieri, the lovely Richard. Good evening, Boaty and everyone. Hope you've all had a good day. Casbar is here. Those are our friends Karen and Barry from Missouri. But they are here under the collective Casbar and on Barry's account, which is that guy from SETI Alpha 5. Oh, and Barry goes on to say, Naswais are Boaty and Shuma. Sorry, Shumai. And I might give you an impromptu Welsh lesson here. Not that I'm really qualified, because I frequently admit that despite theoretically being a native Welsh speaker and English being my second language, I've forgotten it all. It was all so long ago. But there are bits that I can remember. So here's a bit of a lesson. Noswaith are, which isn't quite spelt right, but never mind, don't worry about that. Noswaith means good evening in Welsh. And you might be thinking, why am I saying Noswaith and not Noswaith da? Because you say nos da, good night, bara da, good day, etc., etc., etc. Well, this is a little technicality of the Welsh language. Now, the word da, pronounced da, does indeed mean good. However, noswaith, evening, in Welsh is feminine because, yeah, you do have genders in the Welsh language as you do in French and other languages. Noswaith is feminine. So the da following the noswaith changes. It's not da, as in nostar and barada and many other das. It becomes dda. And then it becomes pronounced ah. It loses the double. Welsh is an incredibly complicated language. My advice to you is don't even try and learn it. Just if you want to, if you plan to visit Wales, or if you do visit Wales, pick up some of the normal phrases to show willing, but don't get too involved in it. It's bloody impossible. But yeah, so the phrase "good evening" is noswaith. You don't. It's a double da because good takes the feminine form, because noswaith is feminine, and then it's pronounced differently. It's not pronounced da, it's pronounced ah. And shumei, that's quite interesting in a couple of ways. One is that it's one of the words and phrases that differs between South Wales and North Wales. Now, I am what I believe to be a proper Welshman. I am South Walian, a good Valleys boy, like our friend Sean. And we believe that we are the real Welsh, and we call the North Walians Gogs from Gogflois, meaning north in Welsh. So to us, North Wales is Gogland. Those in it are Gogs, and we basically think of North Wales as a suburb of Liverpool. Tongue in cheek. The North Walians, of course, believe exactly the opposite. They are the proper Welsh, and us South Walians are kind of pale imposters. But so Shmai, Shemai, or if you want to think of it, shoe, think of it, my shoe. Take your shoe off if it helps. Think my shoe. This is my shoe. And then reverse it. So instead of my shoe, shoe my. Or although it then gets blended together, shmai. But that's a South Walian thing. Now, in North Wales, the pronunciation is different. In North Wales, it's not sh, it's not shoe, it's su, without the H bit added. So in North Wales, it would be Sumai, but in South Wales, it's Shmai, and we blend it together a little bit more. And it's also interesting because it's a phrase that has kind of changed from its original meaning. So when Barry wrote that, he was saying Noswaitha, good evening, and then he was saying Shemai, meaning how's it going? But in South Wales, anyway, it kind of doesn't mean that anymore. It does in theory, but we don't use it like that anymore. So now it means a casual, non formal hi or hello. And that's why it got blended together from two words into effectively the one when it's pronounced Shemai, rather than the two separate words, which is how it's written. So, because that's what it used to mean. It used to mean, how's it going? How's things? Blah, blah, blah. But it doesn't mean that colloquially anymore. Now it's how we say hi or hello. So if you were greeting somebody in certainly in South Wales, you would just say Shemai, Shemai, and it just means hi, hello, with perhaps an implied how's it going, but you wouldn't put the two together. Yeah, you wouldn't say Naswai Sa Shemai, because then you're saying good evening, hi, and hello kind of thing. You would just say you would use one or the other. It's I suppose it's a kind of dumbing down, really, isn't it? Or maybe just foreshortening things as the current generations do. So instead of saying good evening, how are you, which would be quite formal, you just say Shemai, and then in just that tiny little phrase, you've said good evening, good morning, whatever, hi, hello, how's things, and you've said it all in that one little phrase. So if you did want to pick up some bits of Welsh for when you visit Llandudno or anywhere else, that's a really good one to learn. Shemai is a greeting at any time of the day. And if you're in North Wales, then you can remember lose the H and just go Sumai, Sumai, and elongate it a little bit more. In South Wales, contract it. So there you go. I hope you found that not too dull. Good evening, all, says the M11. Not long that, and that's the M11 of the Emma Lemon YouTube channel, no less, stonking towards 500 subscribers. Oh, and another community channel, Carol Ann, is on the verge of hitting 5,000. So we've got two milestones coming up. We've got our own M11 on the verge of hitting 500, which hopefully will happen before Christmas. And then we've got Carol Ann about to hit 5,000, which will probably happen quite soon, I imagine. And the really unfortunate thing about that is the next milestone for her will be overtaking me. And you know me, darlings, I'm competitive, so I'm not looking forward to that. Anyway, Emma says, not long now until Santa comes and empties his sack. I saw my... No, I can't sing that. That's on my list of on my CD of filthy Christmas songs. You don't want to know what Mommy was doing to Santa Claus. Some of the lyrics in that are absolutely disgraceful. He ho-ho-hoed and shot his... I can't even say it. It's outrageous. It's very good, but it is outrageous. He ho-ho-hoed and all over Mummy's face. God, absolutely outrageous. Anyway, let's move on from that rapidly. Peter P is with us and says, good evening, Boaty, pufflings and all above. Dear. Oh, Jimmy Quinn is with us and says, hi, everyone. Barry's having homemade pizza tonight. Yeah, obviously we need all of your food talk. I forgot to add that, didn't I? I had I had a day late midweek very mini roast today. I had some garlic and mustard chicken with, do you know, I had no potatoes in the house. No potatoes in the house. So I deployed an emergency tin of potatoes that's been in the cupboard for, well, they were still in date, amazingly, but they've been in the cupboard for a couple of years. So I deployed those, had half of those. I've got half for tomorrow. Uh, half of the leftover green beans from Sunday, and I made some stuffing with, you know, white wine and onion and pepper and garlic and all of the good things. But a tiny, tiny little portion. I've got this thing now that, right, let me demonstrate that. Oh, I'm going to use this dirty plate. I apologise that I haven't washed it up, but just for reference. Right, so that's a dinner plate, yeah? And this is a side plate. Well, my new rule is that my lunch has to fit on the side plate. I am not allowed to eat a lunch that I can't fit on that, unless it's soup, in which case I wouldn't put it on a plate anyway, for what I hope would be fairly obvious reasons. Because my lunches have just been getting too big lately, darlings. For a lot of years, certainly all the time I was with Boo, Boo had this thing that anybody should never eat for one meal more than they can hold in the palm of their hand, and that's what we always did, and it's a great weight control method. I mean, you know, Boo weighs nothing. You know, you'd have to tie her down in a high wind, otherwise she'd take off. Tiny, tiny little thing she was, but ooh. Let's not go there. But yeah, so I did that for years and years and years, and I suddenly realised that my lunches have crept up in size. So that is my new rule: lunch has to fit on a side plate. It can't be any bigger than that, unless it's Sunday. You know, Sunday is the day that doesn't count. Obviously, Sundays you can go mad, or it's a Monday and I'm eating out or something. But you get the idea. If it's a normal lunch at home, it has to fit on a side plate. And I have genuinely been doing this. Now, on Tuesday, I had a Momo lunch to make up for the disappointment of the buggered up road trip. And I stuck to my rule. Um, Instead of having my normal 10 pieces of Momo, I only had 6 or 7 pieces so that they fitted on the side plate. So, oh, excuse me. So I am being good, or trying to be good. I took my vitamin D and my cod liver oil tablets today, again, like a good boy. And I'm hoping that they start to work because, for whatever reason, this is the worst flare of psoriasis that I ever remember having. It's yeah, it's quite disturbing the way it's popping up. So I'm hoping that those are going to kick in and be enough to reverse it. Because it's not a nice thing, it's unsightly, and one of the types can be quite itchy. And this is psychosomatic. I haven't got any psoriasis here. I'm just itching because I've mentioned the word itchy. And as soon as you mention that, it's a psychosomatic thing. You start to bloody itch everywhere. But yeah, so anyway, so I am being a good boy in terms of diet and taking, what's the word? Not additives. I can't remember the word for supplements. Supplements, isn't it? Something like that. Anyway, Anyway, Barry's having homemade pizza. Peter P got hold of the Christmas ham today, and it was 6.2 kilograms. I've got no idea how big that is. I'm old school. I don't understand kilograms. I only understand pounds and ounces. But 6.2 kilograms, that's, I don't know, is that a big one? Probably is a big one, isn't it? Do I know, can I think of what a kilogram is? No, I haven't got a clue. I genuinely don't understand kilograms. Good evening, Boaty and all in chat, says the lovely Trisha. I'm so behind on Christmas stuff, says Emma. I'm usually totally on it like a bonnet. I will be wrapping gifts that I need to get posted tomorrow while I watch this live stream. Well, I can be quite smug because I am up to my normal speed on Christmas. I'm not behind at all. But then I just totally ignored it, with the exception that I have to go to work these days. So it's not like I have to do anything. In fact, if anything, I'm ahead of the curve. Because I've got thanks to you guys, I've got a load of Christmas stuff in my front parlour for the first time ever. Honestly, I don't know how you lot all put yourself through it. All of that, the effort stroke reward. Oh, I mean, fair play to you, and I presume that you enjoy it underneath all of the stress. But honestly, for the sake of one day that has no meaning to me in any way, shape, or form, can't be asked. Can't be asked. Now, back in the day, you might ask what happened when I was a family man or had a partner and all of that sort of thing. And to be honest, I used to just chicken out. I couldn't put thought into things. I couldn't be buggered. So, like when I was married, then Mrs. Boaty took care of all of the presents and the wrapping and all of that for the kids. I wouldn't have a clue what the kids had. I would just hand a bit of money over, and that would all get taken care of as if by magic, which makes me sound like a terrible man and a terrible hypocrite and all of that. Now, I would always buy Mrs. Boaty a nice present, but as I did with all partners. But to be honest, I used to just cheat and throw money at the problem rather than making them thoughtful and sweet and things like that. So, I would just make it easy. So, well, it's not Christmas, but obviously there was that Valentine's Day when I bought her the MX-5 because she wanted a convertible. I used to go to the jewelry quarter in Birmingham quite a lot. Maggie quite liked nice jewelry, and I quite like buying unique jewelry. So I used to buy her stuff from the jewelry quarter, and but it would all be unique and specially made. So as a Christmas thing, we had a bit of a tradition where we'd go into the jewelry quarter, however long it was before Christmas, a month or whatever, and we would inspect diamonds. We had to be taught how to look at them and how to understand them and all of that. And Maggie would choose a diamond or a couple of diamonds, and then I would have that put into a ring, or did we? Oh yeah, we did do a ring. We did the engagement ring. And then another Christmas, she had diamond earrings. I think the first one I did after the engagement ring, and she didn't choose the diamond, I chose it. I did a diamond necklace that she absolutely adored. She would pretty much never take that off. But yeah, I'm terrible at putting thought into it and all of that. My job on Christmas Day was to cook the Christmas lunch. I quite enjoyed that bit, but that's just like planning a meal, isn't it? I couldn't be doing with all of this. Start buying your Christmas stuff in bloody August or any. Oh God, no! And the posting out of endless Christmas cards, and I mean, again, hypocrite because I've so loved receiving them, but um, oh, the faff that you lot go to, and maybe it's a male female thing because most of the Christmas talk I've noticed has come from the ladies. Maybe it's because they used to be mothers and being in relationships with men who are utterly useless and hopeless, so they end up bearing the brunt. Um, Anyway, good luck, Emma. Hope you get caught up. Mark Prasad is with us and says, good evening, Boaty, good evening, Emma, and good evening, chat. There we are. Barry and Karen have got each other's presents, and Barry's enjoying his since August. Oh, God, you got yours early then, didn't you? Andrew Buttygig is here, our lovely Ivor Spotty Botty, greets everyone by name. Bad Books is here and says, good evening, all. Then there's lots and lots and lots and lots of hellos. Did we say hello to Jimmy Quinn? I assume we did. I can't remember now. Anyway, was the restaurant busy tonight? I asked Carol C. Yeah, we've had a busy night, and we've got 2 mega busy nights ahead, all building up to Christmas Day, which is going to be absolute madness. Matron is with us and says, evening all. Hello, Matron. Oh, Barry's back at work tomorrow, but he will have Christmas off. Oh, sorry. No, Karen is back at work tomorrow, but will have Christmas off. And Lucky Barry is off until the 6th of January. Charlotte Williams joins us and says, evening all, and a jolly good evening to you. It doesn't seem 10 minutes since last New Year, to be honest. I totally get that. It flies so quickly these days. Careful, Jason. Sexual harassment is easily accused of now. Yeah, well, isn't it just? Isn't it just? I don't know what that relates to. Probably me saying I want to track you all down and tickle you and squeeze you until you wet. I don't know how I would get away with half the stuff that I do. Flipping heck, Emma says Jimmy at 500. No wonder you're tired. Good evening, Jimmy, by the way. I'm tired just knowing all the things you do. I've got Yanks coming to us that apparently are hoping to watch the TV show Gavin and Stacey. Well, good for them. How am I going to watch it? I'm going to have to. I think we talked about this, didn't I? I'm going to have to get a TV license for a month. I'll do a direct debit for a month so I can watch Gavin. I refuse to not watch Gavin and Stacey. I've had a love affair with that show for so long that I'm not going to miss out on the final ever episode. Oh, we talked about it, didn't I? I said we should do a watch along, a live stream watch along. That's right. I remember now. Yeah, we'll do that. I'll get a doings. I'll get a license. Carol C says dinner with salmon with a vet dressing, salad, and homemade crisps. I would love to try your homemade crisps. Oh, look at that. I've gone all floppy. It's an old man's fault. Let age not wither thee. Yeah, right. I have to agree, he's a prick waffle. I don't know who we're talking about there. I've forgotten. Oh dear. Good evening, all, says Tracy Cardiff. That like button needs pressing. Deep thanks to all of you who do. And on a serious note, a massive thank you to any of you who have liked anything, because I have jumped up 0.1%. My channel average has gone up from 98.6, and it did depress me to hit that, to 98.7. And that's all thanks to you guys. I would love to get back to 99%. You're always going to get dislikes. There are, the world is full of assholes, quite honestly. But I would love to be at 99%. And just remember that every time one of you hit the like button, it might seem like an inconsequential thing, but it's really not. Because you will be a part, maybe a small part, but a part nonetheless, of keeping up or hopefully increasing my overall ratio. And that does actually matter in this silly world of YouTube, because the higher your like ratio, the more your videos are likely to be recommended to anybody else. And the more number of likes you've got on an individual video, again, the more likely that video is to be shown to somebody else as a recommendation. Commenting also helps with that. So, massive thanks to each and every one of you who hit the like button and leave a comment. Even if you just leave a comment with that emoji or something like that, it counts. And tickling the like button counts. So I'm really, really grateful to all of you who do that. You might not realize it, but you're being a massive support to the channel just by doing that and leaving your knob alone when the adverts come on, obviously. I think Hetty was eyeing that brush, Boaty. Is spanking going to be one of the camping activities? Asked Peter P. Is it a Welsh thing, sticking brushes where they don't belong? And that is a Gavin and Stacey reference. That is a reference to the first ever episode. Carol C says, I've nearly finished watching the whole series of Gavin and Stacey. It's been a joy re-watching it. I would love to re-watch it. I would love to do it. When I get my TV license, which I suppose I could do that anytime now, couldn't I? In fact, if I'm going to watch BBC on Christmas Day, I should get the license now. So maybe that's what I'll do. That is a brilliant idea. I will take out the direct debit for my TV license. I will do it like tonight or tomorrow, because it's going to be a late one tonight, isn't it? And I'll start binge watching Gavin and Stacey, after the live stream, when I'm just knocking about, when I've got that little bit of downtime, and I can have a good old rewatch of Gavin and Stacey before the final episode. Yes, that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do. You don't get horseplay and spanking on Hubnut, says Richard. Very frank buff indeed. He was a bit of a one, wasn't he? He turned out to be a bit of a one. This is a British democracy, Bernard. Good old Jim Hacker. Oh, Tomo's with us. Hi, everyone. Hello, Tomo. Peter P had salmon in the form of gravlax today. Found a good one for the Christmas table. Serious question, people, says Tomo. Do I cook a burger or a pizza? I can't decide. Oh, and everybody's voting pizza. And so pizza it is. Many thanks. Yes, indeed. I hear an artist now, Ross. There are sketches in the Boaty's World Facebook group. And I have to say, Ross's sketch of young Hedgie here is absolutely superb. Carl Burton is with us and says, I would think they'd want compensation for what else they could do with their $500,000, plus something for the risk. Well, yeah, they'll get it. They'll get 33% or 50%, won't they? Fair enough. I'm doing all the bloody work. Tomo's going for a meat feast, but he's putting extra onions and peppers on. They need to pony up the cash and let Boaty run the business and make money for all involved. Yeah, well, that's the plan. Can't they send Boaty to Malta for Airbnb research purposes? Oh, I didn't think of that. No speeding ticket yet or phone call, says Tomo, so I think I'm all good. God, it was only last night, wasn't it? Emma says, good evening to all who've arrived since I last spoke. One present wrapped, loads more to go. Boaty is doing great at ploughing through those comments, says Emma. I think that was sarcasm. I can type one word in Welsh, says Andrew, and then just does so. Whereabouts in South Wales are you from, Boaty? Asked Charlotte Williams. I am from Pontnes Fechan or Glynneath or Glynneath, if you prefer. And if you don't know where that is, it's at the top of the Neath Valley, just as you're about to head into the Brecon Beacon. So if you go from Swansea up through Neath, follow the valley up, and then as far as you can go, as far as the valley goes before it starts climbing into the beacons, I'm from there. Emma is okay, but a bit stressed, and she wouldn't mind a nice, relaxing massage. And I don't know if that's a genuine, nice, relaxing massage, which would send her up to sleep, or the sort of massage which means that she would be awake all night, making a lot of noise and bouncing up and down. We can leave that to our individual imaginations, can't we? Oh, hello, Tomo. Tomo's on his way. Emma, I'm on my way, he says. Timestamp 23:20. Shit, I'm half an hour behind. No one's listening to poor Boaty, says, give me a 500. I can't even remember what he's responding to. Emma, get on camera with Boaty. You two are a laugh together. Steve McDonald is with us and says, good evening, everyone. Indeed, Emma will be with me on Monday. Ross is here. Good morning, good evening, and bollocks. Oh, dear. Oh, and Emma's doing her Christmas show on Saturday night. There you are. How to greet a Welshman, says Jimmy Quinn. Hello, you sheep shagger. Yeah, good luck with that, Jimmy. Yeah, good luck with that. Just go down to any Valleys rugby club, walk into the clubhouse and say that, and they'll all have a jolly good laugh and buy you a nice pint of Welsh beer, or just kick your face off. One of the two. Oh, thank you, Emma. Emma's putting up the emoji of boo in case anybody wanted to see what you look like. If my lunch came on a side plate, says Tomo, I'd ask for seconds, thirds, and probably fourths. What was boo short for, Boats? Asked Jimmy at 500. Bootiful. Bootiful. It's the South Walian pronunciation of the word beautiful. In South Wales, it becomes bootiful. So boo is just short for bootiful. Emma, is one of your channel emojis going to be Boaty in bed? Probably. Oh dear. A bag of sugar is the usual way to think of a kilo. Oh, okay. Or 1 kilogram is 1 litre of water. Emma says, I do Christmas for the 4 young humans that I created. Well, you had help. You didn't do it all on your own. Brings them a lot of joy, and it's lovely to all spend a day together having a nice time. Well, I'm all for having a lot of joy and spending the day together and having a nice time. I'm just not going to start planning it in August. But then, yeah, it's a male-female thing, isn't it? You poor ladies, you poor mummies, Christmas ends up being your job, doesn't it? Crimbo equals nonsense for me, says Jimmy F500. Oh. Jewelry corner. Diamonds, says Tomo. My wife's lucky if she gets a lump of coal and a satsuma. That's the spirit. Oh, Simone is with us and says good evening. Don't be running down poor men, says Jimmy F500. They have it hard, the poor cratters. Boaty, did you dream about the beige bomber in your bath last night? I didn't actually, because and I'm knackered today. Whatever I fell asleep watching last night, I think I fell asleep with Amazon Prime on in the background. And normally I fall asleep to something on YouTube because I take my iPad to bed with me. And so whenever what I fall asleep to finishes, that's it. It's all finished. Last night it kept going, and I kept half waking up at ridiculous hours with, I can't remember all of it, but certainly at one point it was some live stage show with Caleb off Clarkson's Farm. I think I fell asleep to Clarkson's Farm. And it must have auto played on to something else. And I woke up to bloody sort of half open my eyes a little bit. And it was some kind of live stage show thing. And then I just went to sleep again. And that happened a few times. So I didn't have the ideal night's sleep, and I was up a little bit earlier than I would have liked. So I'm feeling a little weary tonight. But at least it means I didn't dream about the beige bomber in my bath. And Mr. Lloyd turned and politely said, "Good evening, sir." He would, wouldn't he? Bless him. Boaty, just download the BBC app, says Jimmy Quinn. It's easy to download and put down your next door neighbour's name and address. I could try that. I've never had a TV licence, says Richard. Same here, Richard, says Andrew, who doesn't live in the UK. They watch on the BBC app player. I don't understand how they can. Oh dear, Simone woke up in agony, pulled a muscle in her left shoulder. Not nice, not nice indeed. Not nice indeed. Oh God. Wasn't bootiful what Bernard Matthews called his meat? Well, yeah, but he nicked it off the South Welsh. Blimey, and unexpectedly, I've caught up with the comments. And on that note, we have got a voice note, so that's lovely. Swipe up for, oh, here we are. Right, here you go, darlings. Listen and enjoy.
Hello again, Mr. Boaty.
Hello.
Don't forget to pound your box as if you're pottering your favourite lady friend and she lets out this almighty fart that sounds like George Michael singing Last Christmas.
Oh God. Oh.
Hello, Mr. Boaty. Don't forget to pound your box as if you just found the beige bomber having a bubble bath in your house. Hello again, Mr. Boaty. Don't forget to pound your box as if you're pottering your favourite lady friend and she lets out this almighty fart that sounds like George Michael singing Last Christmas.
Oh God. I can't. I can't go with that. Oh dear. It's the combination. First of all, it's the accent. I mean, the accent is just funny anyway. God. And then it's the situation. And then there's always something extra as well. I mean, the idea of, right, let's out the almighty fart. And then sounds like George Michael singing Last Christmas. I can't cope with that. These are definitely going on. These are definitely. I'm going to play both of those.
Hello, Mr. Boaty. Don't forget to pound your box as if you just found the beige bomber having a bubble bath in your house.
It's the inflection. That's what makes it funnier. The fact that the voice, the inflection rises, and it almost sounds appalled. That's the poor old Joseph, the beige bomber. And let me just say that the fact that we all now think of the lovely, charming, utterly wonderful Mr. Joseph Lloyd, who has been here, he sat in that very chair for an entire afternoon, and I'm so fond of him. And the fact that he's now going to be remembered by a whole group of people only as the beige bomber, because us group of idiots decided that all famous YouTubers should become tag team celebrity wrestlers and have a wrestling name. And the beige bomber was the best of them. If you don't know who Mr. Joseph Lloyd is, it won't mean anything to you. But trust me, the beige bomber is the utterly, utterly perfect name. I can't remember who came up with it, but it was it certainly wasn't me, and it was a stroke of absolute genius. And once more for luck, and then I will actually pound the box.
Hello again, Mr. Boaty. Don't forget to pound your box as if you're podgering your favourite lady friend and she lets out this almighty fart that sounds like George Michael singing Last Christmas.
Oh. These are my new favourite things about these live streams. Oh, they need to go on shorts and they need to go on a compilation video. And Simone, above all, please, 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 you need to keep them coming. These are the best bits. Right, let's pound the box, shall we? As instructed. Oh dear. Sean's box, darlings. There it is. Look, it says box on it and everything. And that is an pound. 3, 2, 1. And in it pops. Oh, God. There we are. That's the box pounded. Somebody's asking what Hubnut's name was. I can't remember all of the wrestling names. Can any of you? Can any of you remember the wrestling names? I remember the beige bomber. I remember God, it's so cruel. What was it? Kendo. Oh God, it was Kendo Matasaki, the masked cardboard. Was. Oh dear. Yes, Peter B. Kendo Matasaki, the masked cardboard. Oh, and that was dear Matt. Lovely, furious Matt. I can't remember all of the others, but I do remember we had a lot of fun with them. We did have a lot of fun with them over the space of a few evenings. Oh, a wine turd. Oh, God. You know what? The people that don't watch these at all, or who just dip in and out, they've missed out on some really golden stuff. We've had periods where we've just gone through periods where collectively our imaginations have gone mad, and we've come up with things that are so funny you probably had to be there. But think back over the months and years, some of the stuff. We'll have to do a highlight show or something where we revisit all of the. I mean, the celebrity tag team wrestling was just immense. And remember Opewap, which you lot turned into Corpse Wap. And then, do you remember the original Mustard Beasts Boaty when Mustard rang in and the Winer Clack News? And oh, God, so many good times. Come for a brick called Wilfred, stay for the light. Oh, God, a brick called Wilfred. Right, darlings, it is time to say good night. I'm not in a fit state to carry on, to be honest. I'm really genuinely struggling to keep it together. So I'm gonna bugger off. I might actually watch Gavin and Stacey right now. That's what I might do. I might do my TV license, and I might do, what time is it? I might do 2 episodes of Gavin and Stacey while I potter around and tidy up the kitchen and catch up with some correspondence and whatnot, and cook my supper. And I might fall asleep to episode 3, and that'll get me halfway through series 1. It's been it must be 2 or 3 years since I last watched one, so it's about time, isn't it? um, yeah, I might actually. Yes, I might do that. I might well do that. In fact, bugger it, I will. I will. I will treat myself to. That'll get me into the Christmas spirit. Gavin and Stacey. Oh, Simone, I more than liked it. I love it. You are now the official highlight of the community live stream, and I think I speak for all of us when I say that. So yeah, and it's the last of the 11 o'clocks for this week, darlings. I'm sorry, we're back to the late ones for the next 2 nights. It's going to be 11:30 tomorrow and Saturday. I know that's too late for the sensible ones amongst you, but you can always catch up. There will be a Sunday lunch live this week. So that's something. And then, of course, it's all going to go mad as we get into Christmas and whatnot. And not just with me, you'll be getting, you've got Emma's Christmas one to look forward to. And oh, I'm sure there'll be all sorts of wonderful things. So, on that note, thank you all for your company tonight. Thank you all so much. Let me wish you a safe and peaceful night ahead. It's a cold one, so I hope that you are warm and comfortable and reasonably well fed. I think I read that Tomo cremated his pizza and blamed me. So I hope he's got something else in the cupboard that he can bung in the. That's perfectly true, Bad Books. I did do a live with Joseph once, and yeah, he won't be doing. He won't be doing another. Perfectly true. Oh God, that was a train crash, wasn't it? Absolute train crash. Oh dear. So yeah, have a safe and peaceful night. Let me wish you all the best day tomorrow. I hope that there is joy to be taken from it somehow. And please take really good care of yourselves. And if you're fortunate enough to have those that you love or who love you, please take really good care of them too. Much love from me, and the candle will be relit tomorrow, slightly later, 11:30. Can't wait to see you then. Much love, and on that note, ka-choo! And indeed, oh yes, oh, boss. Night, love.